Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series. And yes, this is not my usual style of clothes, but that's okay because it's Old School April! I'm super excited about Old School April. It is coming in just a few days. It is March right now, but it will be April soon. And so, Old School April is a readathon, watchathon, doathon hosted by Kelsey at Slime and Slashers, and I have joined one of the teams. I am part of the Blue Barracudas, chomp chomp chomp, and I'm super excited about it. So, here's what it is, if you're not sure what it is at all, and you're wondering, why are you wearing weird 90s clothes? So, Old School April, like I said, is a readathon, watchathon, doathon, and it's super open-ended, which I love. So basically, during the whole month of April, there's a bunch of different prompts for books, for movies, for doing activities that are like 90s style, and every time you do one, you can turn it in for points and win points for your team. It's not super competitive, so if you're like a non-competitive person, don't fear. If you are a competitive person, you can compete with yourself and get points and keep getting more points. So I'm kind of in that middle of the road. I like to do fun things, but I also like to challenge myself. So I'm challenging myself to get points to see what I can do. So you have a bunch of different prompts. There are different book prompts, different movie prompts, different activity prompts. And so today I wanted to share with you some of my might be read pile, because I don't do TBRs because TBRs are so limiting to me. So I like to have lots of options. So this is like my optional TBR or my might be read or could be read pile. So I'm excited to share these with you. They each go with a prompt, and some of them can actually go for multiple prompts, and that's totally okay in this challenge. You can use the same prompt more than once. You can do multiple prompts, like kind of build them all up on the same book. That's totally fine to do. There's a lot of open-endedness to it, which I love. I will put a link to Kelsey's video down below so you can watch that to get like all the information about what happens in Old School April, how to join, how to be a part of it. And there is merch too. I still have not decided what I want to get. I want to get something. I was thinking about a mug. They have these mugs that look really awesome with the cover art from the Old School April logo. And I was kind of thinking about getting one. So we'll see, because I love coffee. So mugs, you can never have enough. So without further ado, here is my entire list for what I want to read in Old School April, which there's a lot of fun books here, which I'm really excited about. All right, so let's get into the prompts. So the first prompt is read a book over 300 pages. So for that, I have chosen to read Mist, the Book of Atris, and this is by Rand and Robin Miller with David Wingrove. Now, this is a book that came out in the 90s. It is over 300 pages, and this book is based off the popular 1990s video game, Mist. So, well, it was a computer game, not really a video game. It was a point-and-click adventure, which is so Old School April, I don't even know what else you could say. So this is a book based on that game, and I am excited to read it and see what happens. The next prompt was read a book published before 2005. So for this one, I chose to do Ghosts of Fear Street by R.L. Stine, Hide and Shriek, which is book number 1. I have not read this one, so I recently got it on a thrift books haul, so I'm excited for this. So this one also can count for some other ones as well, but I'm excited to read this one. The next one is a little ambiguous. It's read a book set in the 80s or 90s or has that nostalgic kind of vibe. So I chose a book written in the 90s, and that is Forbidden Doors number 4, The Haunting by Bill Myers. This was written in the 90s, takes place in the 90s. It has like bulletin boards that are not the kind with the push pins, but the kind on the computer. So it is going to be exciting. I can't wait to read this one. I remember this one being really good. So I'll be excited to read this. And I think this one also probably counts for some other ones as well. The next one is a book with a neon cover. And so hopefully this is not a stretch, but I chose to read Calling All Creeps by R.L. Stine in the Goosebumps series. And this will also go for another prompt later. But that to me is like a neon pink kind of color. And like this green here is a neon-y green. So tell me in the comments if you think I'm cheating, but I think this is a neon cover, so I'm going with it. The next one is read a book from the year or decade you were born. So I chose to read a book from the 1980s, because that's when I was born, in the 1980s. And this is Bruce Koval's Camp Haunted Hills, Some of My Best Friends Are Monsters. This was written in 1988 by Bruce Koval, and so I'm excited to read this one. It's like a monster story with a campground, and so it should be fun. The next prompt was a book featuring a clown or a carnival, and I recently found this one. I did not have this one as a separate book. I have it in a 3-book bind-up, and so I found it as a separate book, so I really want to reread it because it's been a while. But I found Spine Chillers, book number 7, Birthday Cake and I Scream. This is my favorite Spine Chillers book out of all of them by Freddie Katz, and it has a clown on the cover, and it's all about clowns. So I'm excited to reread this one because I remember this one being really creepy. So I'll definitely do a review of this on the channel once I finish. The next one is an animal attack or a book featuring an animal companion. So I went for the animal attack route, and I chose Monsterious, book number 4, The Beast of Skull Rock by Matt McMahon, which I guess that counts as an animal. It's like a creature and it's attacking. So this is my pick for animal attack. The next one is a book written by a woman or with a female protagonist. So hitting both of those, I decided to pick Cece Rios and the Desert of Souls by Kayala Rivera. And I'm excited to read this book. It looks like a lot of fun. It has like a lot of mythology to it and like some fantasy elements in the Southwest of the United States. So this looks like a lot of fun to me. I can't wait to read this. And it features a female protagonist and it's written by a woman. So it hits both of those. The next one is a book with magical elements or anything to do with magic. And so I chose The Candy Shop War, book number 2, Arcade Catastrophe by Brandon Mull. I actually have never read this book yet. I have read almost every other Brandon Mull book except for this one in Candy Shop War, book 3. And this is about some kids who are dealing with these warlocks who make magical candy, and the candy can do all these kinds of magical things like make you fly, make you invisible, let you go into a mirror dimension world that's super creepy. And so I'm excited to read this book, see what happens. I love Brandon Mull books. I'm excited to read another one. And I've been waiting for the right moment, and Old School April's the right moment. This is going to be a funny one because the prompt is a book with old technology on the cover or in the book. And I've had this book since I was a kid, and I've never read it, so I'm finally going to read it. And that is The Bites Brothers Go to a Getaway. This is a solve-it-yourself computer mystery by Lois and Floyd McCoy, and this is book number 6. These are actually really hard to find now. This is the only one I have, and so it's all about microcomputers and programming in BASIC, which is an old school, like 80s, 90s thing. So I cannot wait to read this book. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The next one is read a Christopher Pike, a Fear Street, or a Point horror book. So I chose a Christopher Pike book because I have not read Spooksville, book number 1, and The Secret Path. So I decided that's the one I'm going to do for this. So this one is going to be a fun read. I'm excited to read this. And I remembered there was a show that had come out for a short time. I don't know if it's available anywhere anymore, but about Spooksville. And I kind of remember a tiny bit about it, but not a ton. So I'm excited to read this book and see what it's about. The next one was read a Goosebumps book. So I actually am already reading a Goosebumps book, Calling All Creeps. But I thought, okay, let me find another one. So my brother has told me that he really, really wants me to read How I Learned to Fly. So I'm going to read How I Learned to Fly as my Goosebumps book pick. So that one should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to read this and see what it's like because my brother said it has a different kind of fear than the usual Goosebumps book. So we'll see what it's like. And then this one took me a minute to figure out what I wanted to do. It's about it. The prompt is a mall in the story. And so I was thinking about it and I thought, what book do I have that is about a mall? And then I remembered I have not read Silent Night yet by R.L. Stine, the Super Chiller, which takes place in a mall. This also will work for a Fear Street book prompt, so doubling up right there, and I'm excited to read this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then the next one is Toys or Doll in the Story or on the Cover, and so I chose another Goosebumps book I have not read, and that is Night of the Living Dummy. I know the plot of this one pretty close, but I'm excited to read it for myself, see what it's like, because this has Slappy right on the cover, and he is technically a ventriloquist doll, so I believe he counts as a doll. This also goes for the Goosebumps cover, or the Goosebumps book prompt, so that'll work too. And then last on this part, I'm probably going to do some more books I'll see if I can find. There's more prompts than even these. There's like 3 pages of book prompts. So the last one is read a short story or a novella. And for that, I chose Brock Eastman's short book. It's a little novella in his series, The Quest for Truth. And this is called Coming Storm. So this is the one I chose for that because I think it'll be a lot of fun to read. And it's a short little novella that goes in that series. So that's my one. And there's also a sci-fi one coming up on the next set of different prompts. So I thought, well, this will fit for that too. And is that neon technically? Maybe not. I don't think so. I think that's pushing it. But I'm excited to read this one. So those are my book picks for my might be read pile for Old School April. Come join me on the Blue Barracudas, chomp, 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 if you are up for doing a readathon. And no pressure. You can read just like a couple books if you want to in April and be part of the fun. I think there's going to be a lot of different parties and things going on all these different channels, so definitely check it out. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm excited for Old School April. It's coming in just a few days. So until then, keep reading, everybody. Bye!